You're watching this video, thinking, experiencing. But who is watching? Who, or what, actually feels like they exist? Consciousness is the most immediate and undeniable experience, yet we don't understand what it is or why it exists. Why do we have a sense of self instead of just functioning like biological machines? What if our understanding of reality itself is shaped by an illusion created by the brain? Today, we dive into one of the deepest mysteries in science and philosophy. What is consciousness, and why do we even feel like we exist? Consciousness has puzzled thinkers for thousands of years. In philosophy, René Descartes famously declared, "I think, therefore I am." But what exactly is this I that thinks? Is consciousness a fundamental part of the universe, or is it just a byproduct of complex brain activity? Neuroscientists define consciousness as the state of being aware and able to experience thoughts and emotions. But here's the problem: we still don't know how mere electrical signals in the brain translate into the feeling of existence. Scientists call this the hard problem of consciousness. Why does subjective experience exist at all? Could consciousness arise from matter alone, or does it require something more? Does it exist in animals, AI, or even the universe itself? To answer these questions, we must explore what consciousness is, how it forms, and whether it might extend beyond the physical brain. Is consciousness simply brain activity, or does it hint at something deeper about reality? Modern neuroscience suggests that consciousness emerges from the brain. But if that's the case, why do we feel like a unified self, rather than just a collection of neurons firing? Studies show that different regions of the brain handle different aspects of awareness. The prefrontal cortex contributes to decision-making, the thalamus relays sensory signals, and the default mode network is associated with self-reflection. However, no single area in the brain can be identified as the place where consciousness happens. Instead, it seems to emerge from the interactions of many systems. Even more unsettling, experiments show that the brain makes decisions before we consciously experience making them. This suggests that our sense of free will may be an illusion. Our brain acts, and then our consciousness takes credit for it. If our choices are made before we're aware of them, does that mean free will doesn't exist? What do you think? Let's discuss in the comments. Most scientific models assume that consciousness emerges from complex biological systems. But some theories propose something radical, that consciousness is not created by the brain but is instead a fundamental feature of the universe itself, just like space, time, and energy. This idea, known as Panpsychism, suggests that all matter, down to atoms, possesses some primitive form of consciousness. While this doesn't mean rocks and electrons are self-aware, it implies that the building blocks of consciousness exist everywhere. Some physicists, including those studying quantum mechanics, believe that consciousness might even play a role in shaping reality itself. In quantum physics, a particle's behavior changes when it is observed. Could this mean that consciousness interacts with the fabric of the universe in ways we don't yet understand? Do you think consciousness is just brain activity, or could it be something more fundamental? Share your perspective. What if consciousness isn't biological at all? Some scientists and philosophers, including Elon Musk and Nick Bostrom, suggest that we might be living in a simulation. If we can create highly advanced virtual realities, what's stopping a more advanced civilization from doing the same? In this theory, our consciousness could be part of a programmed simulation where we think we are real, but our experiences are actually generated by an advanced intelligence. If that's true, does it change what it means to be conscious? Are we really aware, or just designed to believe we are? If we were in a simulation, would it even matter? Would our experiences be any less real? Let's hear your thoughts. Some neuroscientists propose that consciousness is just a controlled hallucination. Our brains don't perceive reality directly, they interpret signals and create a model of the world around us. This means our experience of self, identity, and even time could be entirely constructed by the brain. This aligns with cases where people experience out-of-body experiences or split-brain syndrome, where consciousness can be divided into two separate awarenesses when the brain's hemispheres are disconnected. If a sense of self can be split, does that mean our unity of consciousness is an illusion? If our perception of reality is just a mental construct, what does that say about who we are? Let's discuss in the comments. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding consciousness is whether it survives death. Some people report near-death experiences, NDEs, where they feel detached from their bodies, see bright lights, or even recall memories in a life review. Scientists studying brain activity in dying patients have observed spikes in neural activity just before death, suggesting a final surge of awareness. Could this mean consciousness exists independently of the brain, or are these just the last electrical signals of a fading mind? Some believe quantum mechanics might play a role, suggesting that consciousness isn't destroyed, but instead exists in some unknown form beyond physical life. Do you think consciousness ends with the brain, or could it continue in some way after death? Let's discuss in the comments. If consciousness is a fundamental part of reality, could the universe itself be conscious? This idea, known as the Integrated Information Theory or IIT, suggests that any system with enough complex interactions, like the human brain, might have some degree of awareness. If this is true, could the vast, interconnected structure of the cosmos also have a form of consciousness? Some scientists compare the universe's structure to a giant neural network, with galaxies and dark matter forming connections eerily similar to synapses in the brain. This has led to speculation that the universe might not just be a place where consciousness exists, it might actually be a conscious system itself. Could the entire universe be a kind of mind, experiencing existence on a cosmic scale? Let me know what you think in the comments. Consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries of existence. Is it merely a product of brain activity? A fundamental property of reality? An illusion created by neurons? Or something we haven't even begun to understand? Science continues to explore this mystery, but for now, one thing is certain: you are aware. You are experiencing this moment. And that, in itself, is extraordinary. Now, it's your turn. What do you think? What is consciousness? Let's dive into this discussion in the comments below. If this video made you think, hit like, subscribe, and stay curious.